The Self-Inflicted Dangers of Modern Dating. Written by Short Storytelling. Read by Short Storytelling. Having been married for the majority of my youth and only recently re-entered the dating pool as a mature adult, I am not used to modern dating. Given that my last experiences were as an inexperienced teenager, I am now relegated to being an inexperienced adult, for better or worse. Out of respect and utmost care for my date, no names will be shared for this anecdote. I assure you, all of the embarrassment justifiably belongs to me alone. On this particular night, I was having a wonderful time. I was with a younger woman participating in an entertaining game of bar trivia at a cocktail lounge. We'd done well in the games themselves, at least well enough not to be ashamed of our performance. The festivities were over, and we had stayed to enjoy each other's company and continue to talk and learn about each other. At some point, the conversation drifted to a story of her past. Unfortunately, the precise details escaped me, other than the point when she mentioned someone getting red in the face. Some small context is important here. As a child, I used to flush my face when I was angry, clenching my fists, eyes wide, and my head shaking in rage. The blood was forced to my head, and my face turned a literal beet red. This is a skill that I still possess as an adult, but very infrequently utilize. Other than as a confusion tactic during an argument, I suspect the last time I attempted it was quite some time ago. For some unknown reason, perhaps minor machismo, I thought this was a great time to illustrate my skill. I asked my date if she would like to see a stupid human trick, because what else would you call it? Being a spectacular human, she dubiously agreed, and then waited for my performance. Now, my initial mistake was not providing her the same context I have you, the reader. Not knowing what would happen, there was no real opportunity for her to react in a positive or negative to my performance. I bowed my head and began flexing the muscles in my neck to force the blood to my face. It's worth noting I can't really see when I do this, like a side effect of strange blood flow. I leaned back, raising my head and waiting for an audio response from my patient date. At this point, I lost the narrative. It was a strange sensation of elongated time, an extended sense of enjoyable companionship, indeed almost feeling like months of shared experience, and then looking down at my hands placed on top of the table, with a sensation of emerging from water all over my body and the concerned voice of my date asking if I was okay. I groggily asked what just happened. The ultimate result of my ill-informed efforts at showing off had resulted in my losing consciousness and my date having to catch me to keep me from falling off my seat and onto the floor. I had made myself pass out by restricting blood flow and oxygen to my brain. I cannot speak highly enough of my amazing date to not panic and instead have the presence of mind to catch me in my folly, especially considering she had no idea what to expect as my trick in the first place. Needless to say, this was not intentional on my part. Thoroughly embarrassed and humbled by her fortuitous assistance, I apologized profusely. I had no concern for myself, mind you. I was more upset that I had done her a disservice by scaring her. In another gracious display by my date, she waved her hand at my concerns, emphatic that she was only worried if I was okay or not. I assured her, other than my pride, I was perfectly fine. With that, our date continued, and somehow the mood returned to the intimate talk and hand-holding we'd been so busy with before my lapse in judgment. In fact, by the end of the night, we had a great laugh about it, commiserating about what a fine tale it would be. With that, I conclude the story, offering this guidance. Showing off physical traits in an attempt to impress others is more likely to end in disaster than to induce swooning. In this case, the only swooning done was on my part.